Yeah, so we're starting today with the zoomed in camera. Couldn't be bothered to do my makeup. No, just kidding. Yeah, so first off, sorry I've been absent. I took I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks off. Uh, just had some end of the school semester type things. Really caught up with me this year. And it wasn't so much to do with, world events and coronavirus, but actually it was because I'm completing my degree, and as part of the degree, we have to do, I don't know how you describe it. I guess like a thesis, um, and that just took a lot. It was the problem that I had with it is it wasn't really a thesis. It was just kind of an in-depth research paper, but they were treating it really, really seriously, way more seriously than I thought they really should have been. So it took up a lot more time and effort than I had intended. Um, but yeah, but anyway, that means I am pretty much done with my degree. I've got one more class tonight, and then I'll be done with my graduate schooling and moving on. And the other thing is, of course, world events means that everybody is a little bit tired. The pandemic fatigue is real, for sure. So, and of course, as most people know, I am currently working as part of the public health response to the pandemic, which means I spend a lot of my time talking to people who are very sick and very unhappy. So that's it's unfortunate, but it's happening, and we're doing our best. So anyway, today we are going to finish this fly. Please stick around after to the end of the stream because I am going to announce a giveaway. We have hit 500 people on Instagram, 500 followers, which is super exciting. Didn't even think I was going to get 20, to be honest. And so I'm going to do a giveaway. I'm going to give away a whole bunch of flies, and there'll be instructions for how to enter for the giveaway at the end of the stream. Of course, you can catch the stream on YouTube later if you can't stick around, and the announcement will also go up on Instagram probably sometime either later this week or next week. So yeah. All right, so what are we going to do about this fly? I had some thoughts. I put together some color combinations for the fly, just thinking about what I want in it and what I want it to look like. Basically, the colors I'm going to use for the wing, I think, are this. I am not going to do an underwing. I don't think. I couldn't find any feathers that I liked for an underwing. And frankly, I was looking at the fly. It's pretty bushy, which means an underwing's gonna get covered up, and yeah, I I didn't think it really needs an underwing, to be honest. If anything, if I were to do an underwing, what would I do? I don't know. Does it need an underwing? Actually, one thing I just noticed, and the reason why I'm now questioning my decision not to put an underwing, is that this feather, its black tips and creamy kind of coloration, kind of reminds me of the badger hackle that's already on the fly. Just noticed that. Let me see. It could be interesting. Yeah. The thing is, I think I'd rather work this into the wing than to actually use it as an underwing. Um, I think it'll make more of an impact there. And besides, it's easier. So what I'm going to probably end up doing is I'm going to tie some of this kind of black barred um, from the tip into the lower part of the wing. build the wing on top of that. And that's how we'll do that. Yeah, let's get to tying. So as you can see, I've already switched to black thread like I normally do. My fingers are very rusty, so I'm not expecting this to go on first try. So do that. I want about 4 bars of everything, maybe 5. I like this how to pair. This is nice and dark. Yeah, so freestyle fly, anything goes. And we are definitely taking advantage of that today. The only thing I don't like about, so this is why I think wild turkey, or maybe was a turkey that was raised outside. The only thing I don't like about this turkey is that towards the tips here, towards the ends of the fibers, it gets really thin and kind of spindly. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it gets kind of wispy. And it's not the greatest stuff to tie with, to be honest, because of that. But we'll make it work. We'll just have to be a little bit picky about where we take off the feather. But I want 4 bars of this. Okay. And 4 bars of each color. So this is some nice Highlander green. Nothing special or fancy here. Right. And some of this. This stuff is lovely. It's got this beautiful kind of like creamy edge. Let's see. Now there are a couple of these that I want to use as whole. So because, like for example, this has the cream colored tips, I want to be able to use this whole, or without mixing it in. And then because this has this black bar here, I want to use this as one whole segment as well. So what I think we'll do is I think we'll take the oak or the bronze turkey and we'll mix it in with the colors. Do it. Green. So yeah, so we'll go barred turkey, green. This green is not so great. Let's marry that in, and then take two fibers off the green. Yeah, two more than we need. That just leaves a single strip of green on top. And then marry the oak, or the I guess it would be oak turkey, right? So there. Now we have to make a decision. Are we going to do one bar of the turkey and go green, brown, green, brown, one, then blue, brown, blue, brown? You know what? I think what we do is we go 2 bars green, 2 bars brown, 2 bars green, 2 bars brown, solid blue, and then yeah, we'll do it that way. I'm not inventing anything new. This is something. This is a pattern, I guess, of marrying wings that I do on a relatively regular basis because I like it and it looks good. But also, it kind of allows you to pick and choose like what colors I emphasize in the wing. I really want the blue to stand out in addition to all this natural turkey. All right, so there's the wing so far. Blue. And finally, the other natural turkey. Man, 13 minutes to. so there's the near side wing. Now I could probably use another color on top, something darker. So what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna marry in a lighter color, just a couple of bars. And take. Fortunately, this particular feather has a whole bunch of stress bars along the top, but that's okay. We'll one, you know, it's natural material. You know, don't mind them. And two, they tend to disappear once they're in a wing. If they're minor enough. I'll just take a little bit more of this darker turkey. It should just help fill out the wing just a little bit more. Because again, what we're trying to do here, and the reason why I'm trying to make why I keep adding to the wing is because we're trying to get it pretty close. We want the wing to be about as tall. When it's tied in, we want the wing to be about as tall as the hook gap is tall. And of course, you're going to have a little bit of gap between the wing and the body, which will be taken up in this case by the hackle. But then the wing itself. So if the wing sits like this high, this gap here is matched here. So that's what we'll do. So yeah, so this wing looks pretty good, I think. The blue's got a little bit of a blunt tip, but that's all right. Not a big deal. Tie it in about like this. All right, so let's go and do the other side. So again, a couple bars of this smoky black tip. Yeah, sorry, I know like marrying a wing is not the most scintillating thing, but I don't know, some people like to watch it. So here we have start with the smoky black tip again, and then green. Oak. Just cut all these. And four from here. Four from here. And four blues. All right. So we're going to start with the black tip again. And the green. to the green fibers off. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is this oak turkey? Is this what they would call oak turkey? I don't actually know. It's brown turkey, brown mottled, dark brown mottled. It's blue. And green. But the dark model, or I guess it's not really the light model, but the brown with the cream colored tip. Put it that way. I need 2 bars off this. So we got snow last night. It didn't accumulate very much. Maybe half an inch of actual accumulation. But man, it got icy. So I don't know if you can hear it, but one of my neighbors is scraping my car. Glad I don't have to go anywhere today. Alright, so there's that wing. Look like that. I think that looks pretty good. It's a nice handsome wing. And so as usual, put these back to back, make a little tent. Make a little bit of a tent there. Although we're not putting it over an underwing, I guess. So just hold it where we want it. Now, of course, I'm gonna pinch it vertically, right where I want it. Not quite vertically. It's a little bit of an angle. Now this is turkey. It's relatively soft already. I'm just gonna put a little bit of saliva. Could use water and saliva. Just to soften up the area where it's going to get tied in. I want to hold it nice and vertical and stable. Then I'm just going to soft loop using the weight of the bodkin. And then I'm going to pinch and lift up on the butt ends. Twist my fingers a little bit. Pitch up, lift up on the butt ends until wing is set. Not quite as good a set as I'd like. Main problem is the bottom somehow got pulled more forward. Let's see. There we go. One more soft loop. Want the swing to set fairly high. There we go. Not quite as big and humpy as I want it to be, but that'll do. Of course, as usual, hackle fibers everywhere. Doing something right. Alright, let's trim this. As usual, trim it in small bunches. While holding very tightly here. Right. Of course, just kind of finessing it. Okay. There we go. Again, it's all setting a tall wing. So this is 26 fibers tall. Setting tall wings is can be a challenge, but the mechanics are the same regardless of how tall the wing is. You always want to compress the tie-in area vertically, so the wing the wing scrunches down this way, but actually what happens is if you're setting a wing that's tall like this, you're actually scrunching it like this direction, and that's just because the thread will pull. You're pulling the thread in, or you're compressing the wing and pulling the top fibers in this direction. That's why pinching it here at the tie-in point, kind of in like by pinching it like this, or like this, if you want the wing to be curved, what you're doing is you're stopping the thread from pulling on this part of the wing, and you're pulling from the butt ends of the wing. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's the mechanics of it. Now, to set a wing this tall, properly the first time, it's just luck and practice. But also, if you notice what I was doing is I was compressing the wing in the way that I wanted to by lifting up on butts. So by lifting the butts this way, rotating them up this way, I was compressing the wing, along this angle. If I were to just merely pull the thread short, it's going to pull evenly from the butt and the wing. But by holding this hand steady and and rotating those butts this way, it was only pulling from the butt end, and that's how you set wings, like this. Of course, I keep messing with it, and I keep messing it up. One just a little bit styled. And that's about as good as it gets. Yeah. Again, it's all just practice and learning the feel. But you want to compress the wing in such a way that you're actually compressing it from the butt end and not the wing end. So, like I said, if you were to just wrap your thread around a bunch of really tall wing and pull on it, that thread is going to pull from both sides. And what you want to do is you want to stop it from pulling from the wing side and pull it from the butt side. I'm just going to trim these up just a little bit so your curvature. Now, one of the mistakes that I think people make when trimming the butt ends of wings and things, is that they trim the bottom layer too short. So I'm going to leave this bottom layer actually pretty long as I fine it down. And that way you end up with a good solid base for everything that comes on top of it. And the nice thing about turkey is once it's tied in and married, you can do a lot to it, and you won't harm it. It's not like Amherst pheasant or golden pheasant where it's a little bit more where the actually marrying the wing is a little bit more, or the connection between the fibers isn't quite as good. The connection between turkey to turkey connections are usually pretty strong. Now, let's see. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bronze mallard roof on it and some horns and uh, probably definitely a hurl head. Do I want to put cheeks? I don't know if I want to cover up this wing. To be honest. Maybe if I had. Actually, I am going to add a little bit of rouge, so to speak, to the fly. I'm going to put some red weaver, just as some short cheeks in, just to cover up a little bit of the tie-in. Where the wing gets a little bit messy during the folding, but I think that'll be it in terms of other adornments because bronze mallard roof and hurl head and horns, kind of classic combination, really. So let me see. That's my bronze mallard. Red Weaver also makes a great substitute for a cock of the rock. For those of you who are tying, and like I said, Red Weaver, at least at the time that I acquired these skins, is not considered endangered. Maybe maybe on the verge of being threatened. But please understand, like, these are actually recycled skins. They come from museum taxidermy mounts that were going to be thrown away, essentially. And somebody I know rescued them and repurposed them for fly tying, which is a kind of a great recycling move. It not only gets materials in our hands, but it also prevents like these from being wasted. If you are going to acquire skins, not just red weaver, but for any bird, I really highly recommend checking one, its provenance, um, and two, whether or not the species is considered, threatened or endangered. Of course, but certainly its provenance is important. And in my opinion, the best provenance that you can get is recycled feathers and feathers that are, for a good cause, like a charity. The program that comes to mind is the Species Survival Program for Cory Bustard. If you can get, your feathers through those kinds of organizations, so much the better. Not only for the species, but just for the reputation of fly tying in general. Um, so we'll just tie in. Not going to do anything fancy with these. Just going to put in a little splash color. As you can see, I'm licking my finger and then I'm just running it along the feather. Basically what that does is it pulls all of the fibers together and just allows me to have a little bit more control over the feather when I tie it in. And also, if you notice, I left all the fluff on. That's, intentional. That fluff helps keep uh, just helps tie down the feather so it lays flat. And because a lot of these feathers have stems or rachises that are not round. They're usually flattened in one direction or another. And they have a tendency to want to roll as you tie them on. So just keep that in mind. All right. So go. Again, just going to wax my thread, tie down the fuzzies. Okay. And I'm going to tie in some bronze mallard. Now, again, as I've said before, even though you want to have bronze mallard, you actually want the strips to come from this area that has a lot of the gray in it, because that's actually what's going to help get it around the hump, so to speak. So I got the 2 slips of bronze mallard, not quite even, but kind of what I got. So I'm gonna take. In the new year, I plan on restocking a lot of my materials. We are kind of running a little bit low on certain things. Um, First off, we're going to be uh, hooks, hooks from Ron Lucas, of course, and any other hook makers. If you know of hook makers that you would like to see me tie flies on their hooks, you know, um, comment either here or in my Instagram. Um, hey Donovan, uh, um, comment either here or in the Instagram story for this fly. What hooks you want to see me tie on. Actually, don't comment in the Instagram because um, that'll actually be the giveaway announcement. So again, I just put the 2 slips, top side to top side, and then all I'm doing is I'm bending them over and kind of tenting them into the bronze mallard roof. And then just kind of printing them into that shape that you want the roof to be on the fly. So pinch it here. Just gonna tie it in. There we go. Um, so what part of you of Switzerland are you from, Donovan? I visited once, um, and the only other language I speak other than English is German. But of course, we visited the French-speaking portion, so I didn't get to practice my German very much. Unfortunately, that was years and well, decades ago now, and my German is rather bad at the moment. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. So that's a bronze mallard roof. Although I think it seemed to have disturbed the cheek. So of course, a couple of turns just to secure it. You're gonna trim it now. Like I said, you don't want to trim the wing too short, but everything that you tie on top of the wing, or that goes on top the cheeks, the roof, all of that gets trimmed shorter and shorter and shorter, and that way you get a nice tapered head. So we're gonna add some horns, and we'll call it a day. And for horns, of course, it's got to be macaw, and of course, it's going to be green macaw because we've got green in the fly, and I think this particular green macaw will complement it nicely. And as usual, I always start with tying on the far wing or the far horn first. It's just easier to match the angle, if you tie on the far wing or far horn, right, and then the near horn. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit lower. Okay. Trim. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. All right, now I am going to add my hurl head. We're not going to get too many turns of hurl on this particular fly. That's okay. Relax. Okay. A little bit of a mess. That's all right. We'll preen everything out so it looks pretty. Again, just gotta gently kind of pull the fibers to the rear so that they don't get trapped into the stem going the wrong direction. Not folding it per se, but just making sure. We get about 3 or 4 turns. Lift my fingers just to pull the throat and the hackle back a little bit so I can finish the head. Don't like that. There we go. Now, I'm just going to whip it. All right. So I'm just going to take this and print out the wing. Everything got just a little bit messed up there. Well, so just going to push everything around until it goes where you want it. I find it's the most annoying part about bronze mallard roofs is not that they are so difficult to put on, but when the bronze mallard in particular seems to interact with everything really well. For example, bronze mallard will marry to macaw fairly efficiently, so it'll interact with horns. Be super annoying that way. In any case, there we go. One finished fly. This is my view. This is what I get to see. Um. All right. Yeah, Donovan. Lots of practice. I have been tying flies, not salmon flies, mind you, but I have been tying flies since I was 5 years old. Um, and I've been tying salmon flies now for about a decade. So yeah, lots of practice. It's learning to feel the materials, and like I described when setting the wing, a lot of it comes down to understanding how things compress when you tie them on to a fly. It's a very technical thing, but it's also comes down a lot to feel and knowing what it feels like in your fingers to set a wing using compression. So yeah, and that's just practice. I've tied hundreds and hundreds and maybe thousands of these flies by now. So but I will say I am for these live streams. I'm actually tying a lot faster than I normally would. These are somewhat rush jobs, to be honest. Normally, if I were tying like a fly that I would sell as a framed fly, it probably takes me about 6, 7, 8 hours to tie properly. These flies, for demonstration, aren't quite as time intensive or as I do for the display flies. But anyway, so giveaway announcement. Hello, my face, and there we go, in focus. So giveaway announcement. We hit 500 followers on Instagram, which is crazy, at least by my standards. And so I'm going to do a giveaway. And what it'll be, you'll have two ways to enter. And I want, if you want to enter, you can enter. One way you can enter is by commenting down below. Please include your Instagram handle if you have an Instagram. But comment down below or at the bottom after this video goes live on YouTube. Comment with what you think would be a good name for this fly. What should I name this fly? I don't normally name flies, but in this case, I'll let you name it. And then when this fly gets posted up on Instagram, you can comment on the Instagram photo as well, what you think I should name this fly. And I will have, and what I'll do is I will randomly select, so using a random number generator, randomly select a person, a comment who will, that'll not only be the name of the fly, but also the person who wins the giveaway. And what will you get in the giveaway, you might ask? You will get one of my magnetic fly boxes. I'm not selling these anymore because, one, there wasn't a whole lot of interest, and two, shipping is a lot for these. But you'll win one of my magnetic cigar boxes, and then you'll also get with that a selection of flies. So, including this one here. So if you win, you get a box of flies. So like I said, two ways to enter. Comment on the video once it goes up on YouTube, or the video of this live stream, and also comment on the Instagram photo. Again, what do you think would be a good name for this fly right here? All right. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and as always, enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of my work, go follow me on Instagram at justwondering.brad. If you want to support the stream, help me, keep bringing these flies to you on a regular basis. Purchase new materials, upgrade my technology. You can support me by purchasing flies off my Etsy shop, so Studio1213. I believe it is now too late to get flies for Christmas through the postal service, but you can order, and they'll arrive, after the holidays. I will say right now, because of world events, I'm only shipping flies to the United States. I tried shipping to Europe early on in the pandemic, and it took seriously 3 months for the fly to arrive. And there was some question as to whether it even get there. So right now, just shipping to the United States. Next week, there won't be a stream. It's the holidays. Going to be taken off. However, I will stream New Year's Eve day. And you can check that out. It'll probably be a little bit later in the afternoon, probably around 3 or 4 Eastern Standard. But I will stream New Year's Eve day. And thanks for hanging out with me today. And stand by for the giveaway announcement. And like I said, let me know what I should call this fly. Thanks all for hanging out, and have a good one.